What's for dinner?
Hey everyone, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. Today we are making an affordable family dinner and we are making some masita guisada with moro de habichuela. Now, quick little story, okay? I don't know about you guys, but the prices at my local supermarket keep climbing and I'm getting a little bit nervous, and lately I've been challenging myself to actually make more affordable meals, and today was actually the perfect occasion because I had to make dinner for myself, my husband, and my younger sister, who, by the way, is a teenager and can eat meat out of a house and home. So I knew I had to make something affordable. So masita de puerco was definitely on the menu because between me and you, Masitas is not only a tasty cut of meat, it's actually super affordable. Now, traditionally, I do make these fried, and I actually have 2 videos here on my channel where I show you how to make it the traditional way. But I'm trying to watch my figure. I didn't want some fried food. I actually wanted some chuletas, so I decided to make them guisada, which is nice and stewed. And let me tell you guys, the end result, absolutely delicious. I actually can't hold myself. I need to just like taste it real quick. Perfection, guys. This is going to hold up really nicely. So if you want to learn how to make this delicious, affordable meal, just go ahead and keep watching. Making masita guisada is super easy, and just know that this dish is also referred to as Cerdo Guisado. Now, to kick things off, we're actually going to season our pork. And by the way, you can use a variety of different cuts, and it's honestly super affordable whichever way you go. We're going to use some mashed garlic along with some Dominican oregano, and to that we're also going to be adding some Annatto Powder, and I'll make sure to link it down below in case you can't find it at your local grocery store. I'm going to be adding some Kosher Salt along with some black pepper, and we're actually going to be adding a little bit of orange juice. You can use some orange juice or fresh oranges. I actually like the little extra sugar that the juice has because it caramelizes really nicely and gives the dish some super nice flavor. We're going to mix everything until it's well combined, and the beauty with this dish is that you actually don't need to let it marinate for a super long time. 20 minutes will do the trick. So while that's marinating, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to prepare the rice, and today we're going to be making moro de habichuela, which is a rice and beans dish. Into the pot, we're going to saute some onions, some peppers, and you can use a variety of different peppers. Honestly, whatever you have on hand is totally fine. And then to that, we're going to be adding some chopped garlic, a little bit of salt, and we're just going to go ahead and we're going to saute it until everything becomes nice, soft, and translucent. Now, this is honestly one of my favorite parts of making any dish because it smells amazing. And after a few minutes, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be adding some chicken bouillon cube, some Dominican oregano, some sazon con achiote, which is going to give it some beautiful color. We're going to mix everything until it's well combined, and toasting the seasoning, just like you see right here, actually develops really awesome flavor. And then to that, we're going to be adding some pinto beans, but you can definitely use some Roma beans instead, or even red beans if that's what you have on hand. We're going to mix everything until it's well combined. And now we're going to be adding some tomato paste, and you want to make sure to really work it in there because again, this is going to be helping with color and flavor as well. Now, this dish smells amazing, and this is a dish that I make all the time, not only because it's tasty, but also because it's super affordable. And now we're going to be adding some long grain white rice, which I went ahead and I pre-washed. Now, pre-washing your rice actually helps the rice come out super nice and fluffy, so I recommend doing so if you're not pre-washing your rice already. We're going to mix that all together, and as you can see, that rice is beautifully coated in all those wonderful flavors. And now we're going to be adding some water. Now, whenever I make rice, I actually like to use a 1-to-1 ratio because that's what works for me. I highly recommend that you start off with the 1-to-1 ratio and then alter it depending on the power and the size of your stove because that might change things up a little bit. So once the water has evaporated, you want to make sure and just move everything gently ever so often, just to make sure it's not burning at the bottom. And once the water has evaporated, we're going to be adding some cilantro or recao, whichever one you have. Both taste amazing. And I'm going to center it in the middle of the pot. And I'm also going to build almost like a tiny little mound, because number one, it's going to help make it easier to fish out the cilantro later on, and it's going to help infuse that flavor throughout. And now we're going to start making the masita guisada. Into a pot over medium-high heat, we're going to add some olive oil, and then little by little we're going to be adding the pork. And because we're cooking this over medium-high heat, we're really going to develop beautiful color and beautiful flavor. Now after a few minutes, you just want to go in and you want to mix everything just to make sure that everything is browning evenly on all sides. Now do keep in mind that depending on the cut of meat that you have, this may affect the cook time. Now we don't want to let any flavor go wasted, so we're actually going to take that leftover marinade and we're going to pour it over la masitas along with some water. Now depending on the cut of meat, you might need a little more water or a little less, but that's totally fine because you can test it as the masitas are cooking. We're then going to take some tomato paste, and you want to make sure to work it in there, and this is going to help thicken the sauce and is also going to add some awesome flavor later on. We're now going to simmer the masitas over that medium-high heat for about 20 to 30 minutes. And you just want to check it every so often, and you know that the masitas are cooked when it is beautifully tender. Now as you can see here, the masitas have developed really nice rich brown color, and that sauce has really thickened, and not to mention it smells amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to add just a tiny bit of water just because I want to have a little bit more sauce. And then to that, we're also going to add some diced onions and some diced peppers, and you can use a variety of onions or peppers, whichever you have on hand. I went ahead and I added some red wine vinegar, and I'm just going to toss that into la masita and make sure that it's covered in some sauce. Now because I like my onions and peppers to have a little bit of bite, I just go ahead, I turn off the flame, and I let the steam do the rest of the work. Now, of course, we can't forget about the moro de habichuela. Now, while the masitas were cooking, the rice was also cooking, and it is beautifully and perfectly cooked. So very gently, you just want to go in and fluff it up. And remember that we put the cilantro in the center, which makes it super easy to go in and pick it out. And you can use a fork or a pair of tongs like you see right here. So now dinner is ready and it is time to eat. And there you guys have it. That's my recipe for an affordable dinner of masita guisada con moro de habichuela. Until next time, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Now, don't forget to join the Chef Z family, subscribe, and click that bell so that you're notified each and every single week when I post an all-new video. And if you need some inspiration on what to cook next, just go ahead and click right here.